In today's video, we're going to do something a little unorthodox. We are running a one color ink deck. We are going all in on steel. We're going to see how steel can hold on its own. While there is no real benefit to running a single color deck, we just asked ourselves, why not? How many times am I sitting there trying to make a deck and all of a sudden I realize I got most of my cards are all one color and I just have maybe one or two of the odd little splash of color, and I just kind of decided why not just try going all in. And we're just jumping right all in on steel. Steel is a powerhouse. Look out, because steel will steamroll. And in this deck we are just going trying to get the cards out. We want some card draw, we want some power, we want some hitters, we need damage. So starting off with our steel deck, and coming in at 1 ink, we're going to be having Captain Hook and Simba. Captain Hook's going to be in there in the early game to help us eliminate any of the early threats. And then Simba is also going to be in there, not for the threat, but he's going to be in there for the card draw to help us find the cards that we're going to need, since we have no one else to rely on because we are all just in on steel. We have no Amethyst for card draw, we got nothing, so we got to get all the card draw we can get. And next up we got Cinderella coming in at 2 ink. Cinderella is going to be there again for the card draw, but also for the late game when she can shift on to her bigger self and she grows up to be a nice big powerhouse. Then we got Jafar also coming in at 2 ink, and Jafar is going to be there to also shift up to his bigger self where he can help you get more card draw and eliminate the opponents. And then of course we also got the Huntsman coming in at 2 ink, and the Huntsman is also there to help get that card draw. This deck here, we need to get the Floodborn characters. We want to get to the Floodborn characters really quick. And then we got Benja here to help us deal with any items that our opponents may have, to help deal with those pesky popsicles, or maybe Sleepy's Flu if we happen to come across them. And then we got Tinkerbell coming in here, also at 3 ink, and she's going to be helping us get to that bigger form of herself as well, so we can lay on some damage. And also she can help us find some of those cards that we may need. And then coming in we got at 4 ink Chief Bongo, who's going to be helping us do extra damage with his ability. When you play a Floodborn character, deal 1 damage to each opposing character. So we're going to have a lot of, hopefully, Floodborn hitting the board. And then we got also at 4 ink the bigger form of Jafar. And then followed by that at 5 ink we got the Beast coming in, the tragic hero. He's going to be helping us more with card draw. And then we got Tinkerbell coming in at 6 ink, and we also have Cinderella coming in at 7 ink. So there's our heavy hitters. And also to help us deal with threats early on in the game, we are going to have Fire the Cannons coming in at 1 ink and Smash coming in at 3 ink. And then also to help us with some more card draw and damage, we're going to have Let the Storm Rage On coming in at 3 ink, along with Grab Your Swords coming in at 5 ink. And just to get that new hand to help us keep on rolling, we're going to have a whole new world. And before we jump into a game here, we're just going to have a quick peek at our analytics. As you can see here, the total price of this deck at the moment is $286. Beast Tragic Hero, he's the powerhouse of this deck. He's running in at $46. We got 4 of him in there, so he's going to be the bulk of the cost. And of course, we're also running some Tinkerbells and Cinderellas, which are also quite a few dollars, so that helps bump it up to about $286 here according to the Dreamborn. And by any means I wouldn't consider this a budget deck, but here we're going to have a quick little look at our analytics as well. We're going to look at, of course, we have single ink, so we got 60 steel cards. 16 of those cards are not inkable versus the 44, which are going to be powering up our characters and all our items. And then within all that we got 43 characters, 7 actions, and 10 songs. Smash the thumbs up button, hit the like button, and please subscribe to our channel, and we're just going to jump into a game. And now it's time to do or die. We're going to sink in here with the steel. We're just jumping into a rank game. We're going to see what happens. We are up against Emerald and Ruby. And let's see what we're going to get for the card draw. Alright, okay, that's not too bad. We got a Captain Hook. We got 3 Captain Hooks. We got, okay, you know what? I'm just going to throw 1 hook, I think. Yeah, we'll just throw the hook. Oh, a Cinderella. And we are up against Nelson, who is, I'm still not too sure of these symbols. I know he's up in the higher league here. He's at the Masters League. He's ranked 7, maybe? Is that what that means? Let me know down in the comments what the number means, because I do use PixelBorn quite a bit, but I never really looked too much into it. And here we got ourselves a Beast. The Beast of the Beast. So we're going to throw a Captain Hook, and of course we are going to play a Captain Hook. I got to keep the pressure on our opponent. We do not want our opponent getting more lore than us. We got to keep our opponent's cards down. We are up against a Emerald Ruby deck, so we are going to be probably losing our hand. This will be a tough one. Our opponent has played an Enchantress. She is going to be a trouble to deal with. Don't have anything to deal with her yet, but that will be coming soon. Other than Captain Hook. I do not want that grab your swords right now. My opponent's probably not going to be playing a whole lot of items, so we will throw the Benji. We're going to play the Cinderella. I need some more inkable cards, and that is not going to help. We're going to have to throw one of those grab your swords. We're going to use Hook, get Minnie Mouse off the board, and we are going to pass their turn to our opponent. Now, while our opponent's doing his thing, we are going to think about what we're going to do next. Going to have to probably maybe use the Smash. I might use Hook to take out the Enchantress. We are definitely going to be using the Smash. We don't need him having those evasive cards on the board. The evasive has to go. Not having the best of luck with the draws, getting the non-inkable cards. Don't want to get that too early. But in the meantime, something has to go. We will make the trade-off there. We're going to use the Smash on the Minnie Mouse. Goodbye, Minnie Mouse. We don't need you. And we are going to try to do a little bit of catch-up here. So next up, now we're thinking about playing maybe a Jafar here. Our opponent has played a Pongo. He's going all in on evasive. You know, actually, I want a Cinderella. I need to get rid of some cards. I need some more non-inkables. That will do. We are going to keep the grab your swords. I don't want my opponent getting any more cards in his or her hand at the moment. We got to start dealing some damage. In the meantime, we will let our opponent think he's going to have run away here with the evasive, but hopefully down the road we can get some big damage out. That is not cool. We do not like Daisy Duck. Daisy Duck is not a cool card when you're on this side of the fence. Here we are just gonna skip the whole shifting process and just go right to this. Definitely need him on the board. We cannot hit the evasiveness. Want to get our beast out so we can start drawing some cards and try to gain some control. Opponent had played another Pongo. It's going to be hard here unless I can really do something. Really don't want to lose grab your swords. That's all I got. I go against. But I don't want to get a non-inkable. I'm taking the gamble. Throwing the Tinkerbell. We threw the Tinkerbell. Hopefully that we can... Counting on drawing an ink card with only 16 non-inkables in the deck. And the payoff. We now just ink our Simba. We will play the Beast. And we are also going to try to take out the Daisy Duck just because we get to draw another card. Thank you. We are losing on the lore game here though, unfortunately. It would be amazing to get 2 grab your swords. It would really shut my opponent down. We cannot hit the evasive, so that is making it a little troublesome here at the moment. Opponent's going to quest for 4 more, putting them from 9 to 13. That was not quite what I had wanted. I think we're going to ink Benji just... No, we are going to ink Jafar. We want to keep Benji just for the 2 lore. But we're going to play Simba. See if I can get something kind of good. That will help. We got to slow our opponent down. And we also got to play catch-up. So, I was going to use the Beast to sing the song, but not today. Next turn, we are playing the Tinkerbell. That will take out the Pongos. And hopefully allow me to play catch-up here. My opponent after this round will go from 13 to 17. My opponent is going to ignore everything I got. That one is not a good one to play right now. Did not want to see the genie. My opponent is looking at the biggest threat. Of course, he's going to choose the Beast. Well, we are going to ink Jafar. We shall play the Tinkerbell. Help take those Pongos off the table. And now this is going to put us in a position where we might actually win the game here. My opponent did not win the game now, and I am actually in a position to steal this win. The power of steel is real, folks. Some people that say, why are you running one's colored deck? What is the fun of that? What is the benefit? There is no benefit. There is none at all. We just do it because we can, and it's fun. And as I mentioned before, sometimes I'm making a deck, you feel like you got all one color, and then you might have just a splash of green or a splash of blue. Why run a one color deck? Just because we can. We feel like, why not? Something to do. Look at that. Look at that. Nice, nice, nice. And look at that. We got the win with the steal. When you looked like it was down and out, but we got it. And we're just going to jump into another game here. See what happens. See who we're going to get matched up with. Looks like we are going Amber and Steel. Looks like we're probably playing up against a Sleepy Flute deck. Let's just see if we can get a better card draw here. Let's think here. Let's think for a second. We got a Cinderella, but I can't shift her, so we'll throw her. We got a Tinkerbell. We got to grab your swords. We don't want to start with too many non-inkable and just damage cards in my hand. We're going to have to throw the Giant Tank as well, I'm afraid. We got a Benja. We're going to hold on to Benja for the Sleepy's Flute. Yeah, and we don't need to have... we're not going to let her stick around too long here, I don't think. For now, we're going to throw the Smash. We're just going to burn the Cinderella. Get her off the board ASAP. We don't need her on the board. You know, this isn't your... I thought it was a Sleepy's Flute deck. Maybe it's not. I seen him inking a Donald Duck. Donald Duck is not really a staple in the Sleepy's Flute deck. But everyone likes to make their own little variations to things, so we'll see if we see a Sleepy's Flute here shortly. But I did manage to clear the other side there of the one character that he had on the first turn to get a Captain Hook. Hopefully try to get the advantage, but if my opponent says, yeah, I don't like your Captain Hook, get out of here. Bye-bye. And we got another Jafar. I don't really want to play... I really don't want to play Benja right now, but I'm going to. I was hoping to hold on to Benja for a little bit, but I don't want to fall behind my opponent, so I am playing the Benja. And there is the Donald Duck Musketeer. And I gotta look at it, see what he does again. During your turn, your Musketeer gains evasive. Okay. And he is a 3/5. Sorry. Yeah, a 2/5. And he is a 2/5. I have nothing to shift my Cinderella onto, so we are going to try to get some characters out here. He's got some protection for whatever he's got up his sleeve. Let's see, what was my opponent going to do next? Well, he's getting rid of a Minnie Mouse. And his Minnie Mouse is going to give him... Ooh, oh dear. Holy lordy lordy. Okay, that is not good. That is not good. Okay, wish I still had my Cinderella. Sadly, I do not. So, we are going to do... Gotta get rid of stuff. We gotta get rid of stuff. We can't have this. That'll also help us let her draw a card. We don't need you gaining cards. We got 3 ink left. Yeah, I think now would be a good time to play the Tinkerbell. Now it would be a good time for my opponent. It's probably going to play Grab Your Swords. I know I would, sitting here with all the damage on my guys, but I had to do something there. That was getting kind of gross. Yeah, she can attack ready characters, I do believe. Yes, she can. But at least my opponent is making it a little easier for me. Okay, now I have options. Well, we are going to use... Well, I can't. I gotta use... Let me think here for a moment. I think I'm going to shift to the giant tank. Do a little bit of damage. Clear him off the board. And we might as well draw another card. Now we are gaining a little bit of control. And poor little Tink all on her own. How? Oh, my opponent didn't like that. He just gave up. Steel is real, man. Look at that. Made my opponent forfeit. Only have 4 lore. My opponent said I didn't want no more of that. That was a pretty... Well, I was a little nervous there off the hop. Don't lie, I won't lie. We'll jump into another game. See what we get. Now we're up against Emerald. Now we're up against Amber and Amethyst. We're going to see what we're going to draw here. Kind of like my first game. Looks like I'm getting a lot of non-inkables off of my starting hand. Unfortunately, I don't want all those grab your swords. We got a Captain Hook. We got some decent early on cards. A lot of early on cards. This is going to help us gain, hopefully, keep our opponent from gaining too much of an advantage early on. So again, we are playing up against another opponent up in the higher ranks. Let's see how the steel can do. We're playing against a aggro deck. This is going to be a tough go. But we got a plan. We got a Tink. We don't want to throw the Tink. We will throw the Jafar. And we are going to play the Captain Hook. We will let him get the first lore. Always going to shotgun him with the fire of the cannons, but decided, nah, we'll leave Lilo for a round. Am I going to regret that decision? We're going to find out. Yeah, I kind of thought it would be a Simba. He's going to use the bodyguard on the Simba. But that is quite alright. And we got ourselves another giant tank. The Captain Hook is going to trade for the Simba. And, well, we can't have her going around anymore doing that, so we'll just make her boo go away. Pass the turn on to the opponent. So next turn now, it'll be turn 3. I want to try to get my little Tink out so I can upgrade her to the giant Tinkerbell. We might let our opponent have a few rounds here. Let's see what he does. But if he plays a lot of aggro cards, giant Tinkerbell will clear them off the board. So we're not going to panic. We're going to take our time on this. One thing about my opponent here is they're running an aggro deck, so I'm hoping that I can use my giant tank and my little bit of damage that I can do to clear off the board and keep giving me the advantage. My opponent is also running Amber Amethyst, so we know that they don't have a whole lot of... Well, pretty well they got nothing to make things go away. They have no damage dealers. Sorry, they have no actions that are going to do damage. They have nothing that can banish my character, so I should be fairly safe. That's quite alright. You can have your Simba. Now that is a tough call. I think I'm going to throw my Simba, though. And I think we're going to go with the giant Tinkerbell. Again, it's going to help us. That'll take care of the Pascal, and we're just going to lure with the Tink. We're not going to bother going after the Simba just yet. And let's see what our opponent's going to do with this here round. I am very sorry, PixelBorn Marky Mark. Did not mean to waste your time. But in the meantime, we are just going to sit here and see what happens. I have no control over what my opponent's going to do now. He is going after... Oh. He is trying to slow down the giant Tink. I'm thinking next I'm going to be playing the Huntsman. The Huntsman will hopefully help me get a card that I need. I need some card draw. The Smash is not going to help me right at the moment. Before I ink anything, I am actually going to play the Huntsman. Well, I have to ink something, I guess. So we're going to ink the Smash and pass the turret on to Marky Mark. Now, while Marky Mark is sitting here thinking, I got to try to see here now. I got a Benja and the Fire the Cannons. I got 2 Fire the Cannons, and that's pretty well. Well, before we make any commitments here, we'll use the Huntsman. Well, we don't like keep Arthur out there. We don't need Arthur bouncing things back and forth. We're going to keep that pressure on. My opponent, there's a little bit of card draw that he's got. Where is my card draw? I would love to know. We'll see what's going to happen here with my opponent. My opponent is thinking. He's thinking what to play here. He played nothing. Well, I guess he only had 1 ink, so not like he had a lot he could play. I should have done that. I shouldn't have done that. I should have done that first. And you know what? We are going to be playing the Bongo. The Chief Bongo. Bongo? Bongo. I forget. But he gives me 2 lore, and he's a 3. What is he? A 3-4? 2-4. Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen. My eyes are bad. My eyes are not that great anymore. Hard to make out on the little screen here at the size. But okay. Well, again, we're going to keep on fishing here. Yep, we are going to use the grab your swords. And now I think I got the win here. Again, this is unreal. Unreal for Steel, that's what I can say. Lord love a duck, that's $500. Hello, Moose. Again, people tell me, what's the benefit of running 1 ink? There is no benefit to running 1 ink, but just because there's no benefit doesn't mean it won't work. As you can see, Steel is doing pretty strong here on its own. Steel is that good. It doesn't need any assistance, just Steel. Alright, here's the true test. Here is a true test. Well, I shouldn't say a true test, but Emerald and Ruby. Could be interesting. The Ruby will be tough, for sure. I gotta sit here and just think for one moment. We got 2 hooks, a Cinderella, we got Bongo, Tinkerbell, and a whole new world. I don't want too many non-inkables in my opening hand, so we're just gonna throw the whole new world. And we got ourselves a Jafar. That is not too bad. We can work with this. So opponent threw a Minnie Mouse into the ink well to put out a Minnie Mouse. Now I'm getting a lot of low casting cards. That'll help for the early game and hopefully help beef me up for the late game. This is going to be a tough one. I'm expecting a lot of evasive. Actually, I think I played against this opponent earlier, Nelson, and yes, this is a Ruby Emerald evasive deck. This could be the one I lose here. Let's see. I played him earlier. I can't remember if it was in one of these games here or in a different one, but we're going to have to just take a moment and think. I got to keep Bongo and Tinkerbell. That will really help get rid of a lot of his evasive characters. We got to play something now that's 2. I don't want to get rid of Grab Your Swords either. And I don't want to get rid of the Smash. It might have to be Jafar. We'll see what Cinderella's going to give us here anyway. Okay, we don't need 2 of the Bongos. And in the meantime, we are going to try to keep our opponent, slow him down just a little bit because now the evasives are coming. I suspect we're going to see a Minnie Mouse followed by a Pongo. Okay, well, I was wrong. I was wrong on that. We saw ourselves a Flynn Rider. Not going to be an easy one to get away with, though. I don't like the idea of discarding cards at the moment. But this Jafar will help us hit some of the evasive characters that will be coming out. We're going to quest with the Cinderella. Next turn, I'm going to be playing Bogo, not Pongo. Bogo. We're going to play the Chief. Let's just keep it simple. I have difficulty pronouncing some of these names for whatever reason, but we're just going to see what my opponent's going to do. What is Nelson up to? Nelson is thinking. Nelson has a plan. Nelson is playing a Tink. He got his own version of a Tinkerbell. I like mine. I'm sorry. She's a little better, but it's not going to help. Getting rid of the evasive is going to be difficult. You gotta slow my opponent down. And it's coming here. We're just gonna be patient. We gotta be patient. We're not gonna get too carried away. We're not gonna panic yet. We are not gonna panic. Let's see how Steel is gonna do. Okay. I did not see that coming. But I will gladly take that. I will take that, because now I'm going to be doing, what's he got here? The Goofy with evasive, a 3-4. Not the easiest Goofy to deal with by any means. Well, I'm holding on to that smash, just because I know this opponent has a fair bit of evasiveness. You know, actually, I think now's the time. We're going to do the grab your sword thing. Slow my opponent down a little bit. We got to gain some control in this game. Nelson is playing another Goofy. That's okay. We do not want to ink that beast. Or do I want to ink? No. I got nothing to hit evasiveness. I need to keep that smash, unfortunately. I did not want to do that. That will help take care of one of the Goofies. And that is going to help us tie the game. We are not out of this one yet. It is difficult with the evasiveness. And again, Steel is pretty good at dealing with evasiveness. Let's see what old Nelson's going to do. Hey, hey, hey. Well, I think we know what we're going to be using our smash for. Glad I saved on that smash. Because we definitely do not need to have Ray in there. Ray can go bye-bye. So now we're getting to a point where we're going to be putting our opponent in a tough position here. He has to do something now. He can't let this go. I win next round if he doesn't take something out. So now we manage to gain the upper hand. Whatever he attacks, he's going to lose his Goofy, so that's going to give me the advantage. I don't think he can make a comeback. We're both drawing blind, though. There's the big thing. We are both going to be just at the will of the deck gods here. What are we going to get? Oh, well, that is definitely going to help. We can get rid of the Flynn Rider. Help draw a card. And we definitely do not want to use a whole new world. We do not need our opponent getting a nasty hand at this rate in the game. And I think we may have another win. I never like to celebrate too early. You don't know. Maybe an opponent's got something in there I'm not seeing, but I'm pretty sure. Yep, there we go. Look at that. Another win for Steel. Steel is unstoppable. So whoever says why run one color, say because it works. And it's fun. It is a pretty cool deck. I would actually love to take this down to a tournament if we had any in our area. Unfortunately, my little area here, we're and East Coast Canada, a small little province. There is a fairly good group for Lorcana players, but it's not really, no tournaments yet. Hopefully coming soon. And tell me what you think of the games, everybody. If you like the games, please give us a like, give us a subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and ring that notification bell. We'll be making many, many more videos. We're going to try maybe a few more monocolors. We're also going to keep on testing out colors when the new Into the Inklands comes into play. We want to see how their decks are going to go just with single colors, but not just doing single colors as well. We're going to be doing meta decks, budget decks, how to upgrade decks. If you have any questions, keep tuned, and we'll be bringing you lots more information.